are going to talk again about Cuba because apparently that's all I really talk about on this channel. Yes, politics, but it is right politics. So we are looking at a population that is extremely right these days, Cuba. So I posted yesterday about all the protests that are making its rounds through Cuba, and they are very intense. A lot of times you see videos of buildings on fire. I don't know if that's because the electrical grid's out or what, but you have to remind yourself that Cubans are making, 3 to 7,000 pesos every single month, but $1 is 400 pesos. So $10 is really their entire monthly salary on the low end. You might get $17 on the high end. So you're wondering why they're desperate? That's why. Considering normal things still cost a lot. Like a bag of rice is still 200. Sometimes they go up. So finally, there's some Southern Florida stations that are primarily posting these videos as actual news, which I'm very proud of them for doing that because a lot of the mainstream media is not. And one of the posts in particular, there's a whole bunch of Cubans, saying down with communism and get him out, referring to the president. So what happens when a population is completely taken away from every necessity? They want the very thing that can bring them relief, which is money. And you know what money is? Capital. You know what capital is? Capitalism. So Trump yesterday was saying once again that there might be a friendly takeover or not friendly takeover. And if he uses military intervention and completely removes the Castros for humanitarian violations, essentially their system where US dollars flow into Cuba in such a rapid rate that it brings the standard of life high for everyone. Right now, the Cuban government does not allow the US dollars in cash. So cash would flow through the country, relieving everyone out of poverty. The wages that they would actually work for would be more aligned with the value of their work. Doctors will not be making today, they'll be making hundreds of dollars a day. And then the quality of life will raise for everyone. And you might say, well, why would we spend so much money on infrastructure in Cuba? Well, we've done it before, rebuilding the Middle East after wars. And the thing is, this has not been a war. This has just been an economic disaster. So let's just say the US spends $100 billion in reshaping the island and then allows foreign businesses to enter and allow the Cubans to live a good life. Well, most of the time, we are looking at complete regional change, and it will be the next Miami. It will be the Miami on an island. Now, they might do something that restricts, Americans moving there to keep it for the Cubans primarily. Every government has the right to do so, including Israel, where you have to be a part Israeli. I talked to a lady yesterday that her best friend is 1/8 Cuban, and that's why she can live there. So when you look at it from that standpoint, the whole country is going to change probably within a year when this actually takes place. And let's just say the economic deal is struck and the Castros stay in place. Well, he's going to want them to remove the stronghold that they have on businesses and hotels. You cannot have a private business or a hotel or transportation or anything like that. So he would allow the Castros to remain in place and basically say, hey, you have to have free markets. And if they comply, then I'm sure the Castros will remain in place. If not, they'll be taken out and then a new system will be adapted. And, he talks about Cubans going to Cuba without permission. And the only way that would take place is with a visa-free system like going to Puerto Rico, where Americans can go without a passport. They don't need permission. Then at that point, Cuba would remain its cultural significance and will remain its own country, but could be under the umbrella of the United States in somewhat like a territory, but we can only tell. All I know is that there are people with diseases who can't get medicine, and people are dying because they can't afford medicine. There's no free healthcare, regardless of what people say. You still have to pay for everything, but the price and the wages do not match. The wages are so low you can't afford to go to the hospital or get medicine. So all of these people who are on the left who are just crying and crying about this are people who truly believe the doctrine of communism, and they think that the protests are fake. I have screenshots of all of these individuals saying that protest that's coming out on the internet is from 4 years ago and it's fake and it's fabricated. And the Cuban people are doing great. They're just, bathing in communism, and they just love it. And everything else is the MAGA bigots coming out and trying to destroy this perfect system. But yeah, white people are just defending this like it's to their dying day, and white liberal women especially praise communism as the perfect system. They even have the Chi hat on and everything in their profile, while actual Cubans can't afford to eat. So we need to see what takes place and how much we see the change happen this year. 26 could be the year of toppling down dictators all over the United States. And Venezuela was a big part of it because Venezuela supplied oil to Cuba, and it was a bartering system. So Venezuela could not refine their oil, so they sent it to Iran. Iran refined it, sent it back to Venezuela. Venezuela exchanged the oil for services like doctors and military. And now that bartering system's over with, Cuba cannot survive. And that's why this is taking place. Trump wants to show the world communism doesn't work when you shut down free markets. If Cuba was a free market capitalist society, they could buy oil from anyone, but they don't have any money. So they can't do it. They've completely taken currency out of their markets, and they're still wanting the control. And the control will continue until something takes place. And yeah, for everyone who I know in Cuba, it's going to get a lot better. For people who are wanting to visit Cuba, they might be able to go sooner than we think. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day. And